So now here hierarchy of fall protections. We have to consider that elimination is the first priority. So as per the hierarchy, we all very knows the hierarchy starts from elimination, substitution, then engineering, and finally PPE. So the first priority for us to eliminate the activity to carry out at height. So in that there are five different categories we are going to see in upcoming slide. First priority is going for hazard elimination, eliminate exposure to the hazard. The second, if the elimination is not practicable, sometimes or not sometimes, most of the times to carry out some activity, the elimination of working at height is not possible. You have to go to perform some activity at height. So in that case, you can go for passive fall protection. But however, this study will help you when designing a plan. If you are a safety representative and you are in some HEC studies, you can suggest when they are developing some plan, you can suggest that in a working atmosphere where the walls may need to go, the people may need to go on top on some elevated platforms to operate some walls, which you can suggest in HSC studies. If at all it is not practicable, then you should ensure that there is a fall protections like a guardrails system is being implemented in the design phase itself for people to carry out some activities at height. So following that, first hazard elimination, then the second subject is fall protection, passive fall protection by installing physical barriers and around unprotected edges and cover over holes. So these are all coming under passive fall protection, like guardrails or even some holes. If at all some holes are there, if you are protecting those holes with some barriers, these are all coming under the second option, which is passive fall protection. Now the third option is fall restraint system. This is about use personal protective equipment to restrict the workers' range of movement so they can't fall. When working on a roof, especially, there will be a lifeline. The people used to connect the lanyard with that lifeline for some distance or some length based on the working conditions which you required, generally for 2 meter or something. So within this 2 meter, it will not allow you to go beyond this 2 meter of range. That is called fall restraint system. And the fourth system is called fall arrest systems. Use personal protective equipment to arrest a fall within acceptable force and clearance margins by using safety harness, which we have seen in a previous slide, and upcoming slide also we are going to discuss something more detail about clear safety harness belt. So the fourth option is about fall arrest system, and the fifth one is administrative system. The least preferred control solution is in work practices or procedures that increase the workers' awareness. Yes, workers' awareness is very important. Before allowing people to work in working at height atmosphere, you have to give, it is the responsibility of the employer to ensure that the workers are trained. They have adequate awareness before going to work at elevated working platforms. This is very important, and even sometimes in some of the industries, not generally in most of the industry, but it is very preferable that the medical test is very important. The fitness test for the employee is very important, whether he is medically fit and he can carry out his activities at work at height. This is another important parameter which is coming under administrative control. Other than that, there are some safety signages, safety postures, campaigns. Those are all administrative systems. But the first one is hazard elimination. I used to give this example when I work in my working atmosphere in my organization also. If there is a unsafe scaffolding, just placing a board of the placing a red tag that the scaffolding is not protected. Sometimes people may not see, and the worker may not see, they didn't give the attention to that red tag. They still can go and work on the unsafe scaffolding platforms. Instead, you may need to have some controls, so which is not allowing people to enter into that scaffolding atmosphere. For example, you are removing that ladder itself, so that the people cannot go into the elevated atmosphere to work. So those kind of things, as a safety professionals, you need to understand, you need to develop, you need to monitor that your workers in your working locations are protected before working in this atmosphere. Now we are moving to the next slide. If you have any questions, you feel free to chat in your, you can write in your chat box. We have no issues to answer your questions. Now, this is what we have discussed with a visual presentation for us to understand. The first picture, you can see the person is executing his activity before going to hide from the ground level. So he is eliminating the hazard. In second picture, you can see there are physical barriers, so that the people, the physical barrier which is not allowing people to go out of the range, and it is protected. So the people is protected from this by using this physical barriers. This is point number 2, or the second picture you can see. And third picture, which is talking about fall restraint. So we will allow you to go with for a certain range only, as we have discussed before. And fourth one, fall arrest full body harness system. And fifth one is like a warning signages and all, which is administrative system. So these 5 protection measures you must understand. You, when you are developing your HSE plan, or if you are a safety professional or even a non-safety professional, if you are seeing someone working in elevated working atmospheres, working levels, you should give these kind of suggestions to ensure people are protected, workers are protected, and always go for elimination as a first priority. So we are going in some more detail with regards to passive fall protection system. If fall hazards cannot be completely eliminated, a protective approach like guardrails. This is what you need to understand. The guardrails will be like that, and there will be a mid rail and the toe board also, which is another important thing. But the toe board is for the workers working nearby the elevated working locations. They are not working on elevated atmospheres, but generally they are working on ground level. But the tools may fall down from height, can cause injury. So there is a protection for the tools to restrict, that is called toe board. But for the personnel, there are 2 rails. One is the top rail and another one is mid rail. There are some ranges that we will tell you in upcoming slide. Then removal of barricades shall be perimetered. See, now in the second picture, you can see the physical barrier is protected, that has been given for the open holes. But as we have discussed that, removing of these physical barriers shall be permitted only after ensuring alternate safety arrangements are put in place. This is another important thing, because there are so many fatal incidents happened, which we have known, we have heard, and we have seen so many lessons learned, that the physical barriers were removed and it was not noticed. You can see behind there is one more area which is not protected. There are one more open hole which is not protected with that barrier, so which is hazardous in nature actually. Now fall restraint, when a system provides fall arrest, it protects the worker who is already in the process of falling by stopping the fall after it has happened. So this also we have discussed. It will restrict the people. There will be a fixed length lanyard. Within this length lanyard only the people can move, especially people working on roofs. They used to have those kind of setup to ensure that people are working on roofs with the fixed length lanyard, so that they can move around within the range, and it has to be connected with the anchor point. So fall restraint equipment normally includes the fixed length lanyard connected to a suitable anchorage point at one end and the worker safety harness at another end. Yes, this is what we have discussed earlier, full body harness. Here there are many points to discuss with regards to full body harness itself, because generally people used to wear a safety harness, but as some of you have mentioned in the chat box, they would have not properly fixed in anchorage point, or sometimes that anchorage point is not rigid enough to ensure the structural integrity is not adequate to protect the employee from falling. So there are some multiple points for us to understand from this full body harness. A full body harness is a harness designed to hold the wearer upright in the event of a fall from height. If worn correctly, a full body harness will distribute the energy generated during free fall across the wearer body evenly, reducing the potential for serious injury. So usually we'll be having A, B, C kind of checks for us to understand. See the ABC which is given in that safety harness also. You can see that whether the anchorage is properly given, whether that D-ring is very important, whether the D-ring has been connected and the lanyard are inspected and it is proper. So these are all the things to be inspected to ensure that people are protected before working at this full body harness, before working in this atmosphere. So just for a general understanding, in this slide, now we are moving to very important slide. Generally, we will not talk about this, but this is very important for us to understand. That is called suspension syncope or syndrome. What does it mean? The full body harness, when people are wearing full body harness, still this is allowing the people to fall, but it will protect from touching the ground because of some distance you are maintaining. But when the people are in this suspension level, or the suspended person becomes unconscious due to orthostasis without traumatic injury, means it is called a suspension syncope. When people are hanging or suspending in those region after fall, they will suddenly there will be a blood pressure drop, rapid drop in blood pressure. You need to have emergency response readily available, or the emergency response should reach within 10 minutes. We can say within 10 minutes, the emergency response to reach to protect the person. Otherwise, even it can lead to death. This is very important. So when people are, we encourage people to work in height by using safety harness. That is why we keep on telling from the beginning, the hierarchy of control is very important. Elimination is the first opportunity or the first thing you need to do. The second thing is you need to have a proper barriers. Even if both are not practical, or both are not available, or for some reasons you cannot able to go for those things. The third option, that is called fall arrest, restrict and fall arrest. By wearing this safety harness, still people can fall down. But if they fall down, do we have an emergency response readily available? Otherwise, the person in suspension syncope can have a like within 10 minutes he can go into the it can reach to death. So this is what very important for us to understand. Typically between 15 to 40 minutes post suspension is there. We need to give emergency response, but even it can start from 10 minutes. So death is more rapid with existing injuries that can happen to anyone. So ensure that we have emergency responses readily available. There is a proper response plan for people who is on at a suspension level to rescue.